Sawadee Krap and welcome to another episode here for the Funky Pod, mindful media and communication straight from Thai New Year's holidays. So I hope you appreciate the effort to actually put this show out while we are on New Year's holidays here in Thailand. For all the Thai speakers, people in Thailand, Sawadee Pimai, Happy New Year to all of you, of course. But obviously we had to get this episode out because, what just happened, right? UFC 300 in the books, and for those new to the channel, appreciate it, welcome. I'm not recapping all the fights because there are so many channels out there that do it way better. There are professional fighters who recap stuff. I'm not reacting to it, as you see from the thumbnail. I'm trying to analyze. I'm trying to analyze from a media professor's point of view how the fighters and maybe even the organization communicate, use media theories to bring their points across, make their cases, and so on. So that's the goal here at the podcast. And today we're talking UFC 300, the biggest UFC pay-per-view in history, in humankind's existence. Maybe the Anunnaki had a similar event, who knows? But it was the biggest UFC event ever, and it delivered, of course. But let's look into communication, and let's look into how fighters and organization use communication, use the media to state their cases, to explain what happened, and so on. All right. So, and I'm not going by order of the fight card. I have to go by order of BMF-ness, obviously, right? We have to start with the Blessed Express, Max Blast Holloway, because obviously what Max did was insane. And again, not recapping or analyzing the fight itself, but I think it's fair to say that it was insane. Even if you're a Justin Gaethje fan, insane fight, right? So then what happened? How did Max capitalize on that? What did he do? And I think there are a few theories at play that he utilizes very, very well. Probably not because he thinks about how do I utilize a theory, but probably thinking in his head, I have this goal in mind, I need to do this and this and this and that to achieve those. And that's theories at play, right? So one media theory that we talked about a few times on the podcast is the framing theory. Because in the way that Max now repositioned himself via his display in the Octagon, but also then on the mic afterwards, is of course this narrative of resilience. You cannot deny me. You cannot put me away. Volkanovski beat me, whatever. I'm back. I'm here. I'm the BMF. I'm next for the title. That's framing theory. You frame the messaging in a way that the audience sees your point of view and quite likely will agree with you. Okay, so that's the framing theory. And he reinforces elite status, right? How could you now deny him a title shot next, for example, right? So this is great. And it also shows, emotional fortitude, which obviously resonates with the fans. So if you show something like this, if you show the passion that he had on the mic afterwards, if it shows also the compassion that he had on the mic afterwards for Justin Gaethje, giving it up for him, and so on. So this resonates with the fans, of course, right? So I think, while I obviously believe that that's the real Max Holloway, and it's not like a fake persona, he's very good at saying the right things at the right time to resonate with the fans and to put his messaging out there. For example, there was a discussion whether or not Gaethje actually knocked him down, right? It would have been the first knockdown in Max Holloway's career ever. And he's like, no, it was a slip. Come on. But with a smile in his face, so not dismissing Justin Gaethje, but he's like, come on. And frame it in a way that Max Holloway fans are yeah, come on, it was a slip. And we like Justin Gaethje, but come on, it was a slip. UFC actually came out and said, yeah, it was not a knockdown. So he was actually right with that. So that's fantastic. Fantastic communication used by Max Holloway. Very relatable. Yeah, well done. Then, of course, we talk about the main event. The man on the poster, if there would have been a man on a poster, it would have been him. There was no man on a poster for UFC 300 this time around. But of course, you got to talk about Alex Pereira, right? The main event winner. He stood out not only for his victory, but also for his celebration. Because usually Poatan, very, very composed, very stoic, right? But then like his meme celebration, something completely different. But also, and now that I bring it together with Max, kind of like utilizing that framing theory, like saying like, I told you my point of view, my frame of view, right? My reference frame, if you will. I'm better. He's not on my level. Jamal Hill was saying the whole time, like, I'm on his level. He's not on my level. I'm levels above, blah, blah. He knocks him out in the first round and goes just like, body language, right? I told you. I'm understanding the meme, but behind the meme is like, look at this, right? So makes complete sense. Saying like, hey, what's this, right? He doesn't speak English or doesn't speak English well. Didn't need to in this case, right? Body language is all that matters. And as many people pointed out during the broadcast, he received the biggest pop, meaning the biggest applause, reaction on the night. He's a fan favorite without actually talking much. Whenever he talks, he has like his dolmetcher with him, of course, like his translator with him, which is great. And he tries to, like, of course, get the vibes across. But even like just a few words in English, he's very relatable. He did the interview with Nina, like many other UFC stars, makes him also very relatable, very fun. And yeah, using the framing theory to just show, I'm the man. Like, second title, second weight class, title defense, let me go up, get the next one. Right? He basically said, I would want to fight at heavyweight next, which is the weight class above. So he states his claim like, this is all you have? Let me go up, let me get the next title. Framing theory, well done, Alex Portan Pereira. Fantastic. Great way to communicate, obviously. Also, great way to communicate was, of course, what led to the knockout when he got like the cheap shot in the cup. And usually when that happens, the referee will stop it and say, hey, you get time to recover. But as the referee walks in, trying to give them a break, Alex Pereira, who got kicked below the belt, says, no, I got this. And then he knocks out Jamal Hill. Also, communication while fighting. Like, no, I'm good. I got this. I got it. I don't need a break. That didn't even hurt. Let me do this. Right? And the opponent also starts thinking like, oh, what? I just kicked him in the balls and what's coming? Nothing stops him. They are very confident. Also, of course, communication, non-verbal communication, which is very, very, very important part of communication, because non-verbal communication is around like 80% of our daily communication, right? The way we behave, the way we show our body, the way our face makes expressions, and so on. So, in this case, Alex Pereira, funny enough, without any English, master of communication. I love it. Fantastic. Alex Pereira, you're the man. Who else do we have? Let me check my notes. Yeah, of course, Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison, UFC debut, as good as you could imagine or hope for if you're a Kayla Harrison fan or if you're Kayla Harrison herself. Afterwards, using what I think we could describe as agenda setting theory. Agenda setting means tell the people not exactly how to think, but what to think about. So you put the agenda out there. And she said, end of the year, I will be the 135-pound champion of the UFC. I don't care if it's Raquel Pennington, Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes. That's also like a light call out there. If she wants to come back, she can get it. Agenda setting. Now, everyone, of course, is like, yeah, after this performance, sure, title shot next for you. Like, so everyone thinking about not will she be the winner? Probably many people think she will, but it's like, yeah, she deserves a title shot, right? You'll see all the tweets, people saying, I've seen enough, give her a title shot. So agenda setting in full effect. Well done, Kayla Harrison. Maybe even if she wins the title, using her communication skills here, and she's very good at talking, getting Amanda Nunes back out of retirement into the Octagon. So communication, 2 thumbs up, Kayla Harrison. Well done. But we know that she's a good communicator, of course. We knew that before. We also had Davison Figueiredo, also not the biggest when it comes to speaking English, obviously, but first man to submit Cody Garbrandt, so congratulations. And then just saying like, yep, that is me, title shot. I mean, yeah, again, fair enough, I think. There's a bit of like, besides framing, what we talked about already, you could also say it's a little bit of use and gratification theory, because if you see someone that's being like that successful, you want to see them tested more. You want to see them take on like bigger opponents, maybe even title fights. So the crowd, the audience likes Deiveson Figueiredo because he's always in like good fights. He brings the energy, he brings like the passion. So they're like, yeah, I want to see more of him. Like, give him the title shot. I want to see it. So yeah, not besides framing theory, I think user gratification theory also like a big part of fighter communication. If you have exciting fights, we want to see you more, and we're gonna make our voices heard to make sure that you're in the picture. That said, when it backfires, hello Aljamain Sterling and Bo Nickel, both fighters won in more or less dominant fashion. More dominant fashion. I think Aljamain Sterling even more dominant than Bo Nickel, but Bo Nickel got the stoppage, so fair. Aljamain Sterling just dominated the whole time. Also fair. But when it comes to communication afterwards, like Aljamain usually that isn't the most self-reflective fighter out there. So he's like, yep, I'm going to take on Brian Ortega next, let's go. Which is fair to call out someone, but the audience might not necessarily clamor for that now, right? It's like, yeah, cool, but to be honest, it was one of the two more boring fights of the night. Even though it's completely understandable, if you dominate someone in a certain aspect, you go for it. Like, why would you put yourself at risk? Totally understandable, but from a fan's point of view, it's like, wasn't that exciting? We're sorry, but okay, no one says we're sorry, but we don't want to see you right away again, unfortunately. So that's not me saying this, just to be sure. That's like, I think the fan base being like, it wasn't that great. And so that's also communication there. So Bo Nickel tried to drown it out already. He said, yeah, I know this performance sucked. I'm sorry. Terrible performance, my worst performance in the UFC yet. I promise I'll be better. And it was also not great. He didn't look great. He got the job done. So fans were mad that he's on the main card and not on the prelims or something because he's not tested yet. So the fans are like, oh, come on, what was that? Oh, we don't want to see him on the main card again and so on. But he tried to say, okay, well, I promise at the end, once I put it all the pieces together, you're going to love me, you're going to come around, you're going to like me. Just wait for it, give me a chance. And I know today was terrible. So he tried to like drown it out already because he knew what the fans would say. So it's also a smart way of communicating, of course. We also saw, of course, the samurai, Jiří Procházka, which was great. And, you know, Jiří is always straightforward, rather thoughtful. And as someone whose native language is also not English, just like so I can relate, right? Of course, it's hard to say what you think in your native tongue and then in English, especially if you just started learning English like 5 years ago or something. But he's getting very good at it, I think, and very thoughtful responses usually. And also in the interview after the fight, he said like, yeah, first he said he wants to be on the Joe Rogan Experience. And then he said like, yeah, like just the comments that his opponent, Alexander Rakic, made in regards to him living a samurai lifestyle, saying he's not a samurai. It's like, yeah, of course I'm not a samurai. It's my lifestyle. It's my spirit. It's like what I look up to, what I try to implement in my daily life. And that made him, again, very relatable to the audience, right? It's like, yeah, I'm not a samurai. You're not a samurai. But we all can live by principles, and that can make us better people. And that motivational relates to the audience, and the audience loves it because he is like uniquely himself, right? He's not trying to be anything else. He's himself. He doesn't care if someone's watching, if no one's watching. He's just being himself, which makes him very relatable for an audience. And you've seen it if you watched the event, which I assume you did. Otherwise, you wouldn't watch this video or listen to this podcast. The crowd went nuts. Like Rakic was beating him, right? Like he was clearly up. The leg kicks were hurting him, and so on. So great game plan by Rakic. But as soon as Jiří exploded, the audience went wild. Like, yeah, let's go. Like they were all behind Jiří Procházka because he is uniquely himself. He doesn't try to be anything else, which makes him so, again, one more time, relatable to an audience and so likable. And so great job there by Jiří Procházka. Also after the fight, right away he was talking to the schmo of all interviewers, for example, like just picking the guy that's like the most likable maybe, which was just another sign of Jiří being like very personable, I believe. And so good job, Yuri Prochaska here, also communicating. He also said in the press conference, I'm not a psycho. I know there are some videos of me out there like where I'm meditating, staring into the sun or in the moonlight and just meditating. You can talk to me. I'm not a psycho. It's just my ritual. I'm quite nice, so don't be afraid. Which is also nice, which like invites the people to be like, hey, if you see me doing weird stuff, it's cool. It's my ritual. Come talk to me. I promise I'm nice. So, opening the door to the fans, relatability. Great job, Yuri Prochaska. He's a great communicator, even though English is not his first language, which makes it even more impressive. So good job there to Yuri Prochaska. I also want to just quickly mention two fighters trying to communicate without fighting, which were, of course, Magomed Ankalaev. He's like, I'm next. See you in Abu Dhabi. Doesn't make him that likable. Trying to shoot his shot, agenda setting, yeah, I get it. But maybe also know your audience, okay? The audience is not very fond of Magomed Ankalaev. He had like this super boring fight with Jan Blachowicz, for example. And it's just not the most exciting fighter to watch. And now him telling Pereira, you come to Abu Dhabi, we're going to fight there. It's like, no, dude, you're the challenger. You should say, congratulations, champ. I'm next. Anytime, any place, let's go. You're the champ. You go to Brazil and take it from the champion, like what Max Holloway did with Jose Aldo, for example, right? That would be like a way to communicate to get the people behind you. But you telling the champ, who is the audience favorite, that come to my house, come to Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, whichever Middle Eastern event he was referencing, you come over here and then we do it there. Like, why? Yeah, agenda setting is one thing. Knowing your audience, very important thing. He might underestimate the audience response to that because I think the audience doesn't really want to see that. The audience would rather see Pereira move up a weight class, take on Tom Aspinall, which are two fan favorites. We also had Islam Makhachev, of course. He was congratulatory towards almost everybody in his weight class. He was saying, heads up, champ, to Justin Gaethje, and he's like, great fight, Max. And then he also tweeted, see you soon, boy. Not really sure who he meant. Did he mean Aman Sarukian? Thanks, John Anik. Or did he mean Max Holloway? Who knows? But use UFC 300 to stay in the news, to have people talking about him. What did he mean? Who did he mean? Like, yeah, narrative momentum is a theory that we use in media theories, communication theories. And he, of course, jumped on that because UFC 300, obviously trending, has momentum right now. And he's like, hey, I'm the champion in this division. Don't forget me. Sends out some tweets. Like, okay, people now talking about Islam Makhachev again. Who is he going to fight? Who did he mean? Okay, so that's very interesting. So smart move by Islam / his manager, Ali, of course. We also had, very, very quickly, because we don't want to like beat or kick people that are down. But if you look at like the people that lost, like let's just look at two, Justin Gaethje and Jamal Hill. They both went out and gave not an excuse, but they just gave some quick statements, like saying, hey, both of them said we're all right, like individually, like I'm all right, I'm with my family, or I'm all right. Got caught with what Jamal Hill said. Not sure if that's correct, but I mean, that's framing again. He's like, yeah, congratulations to Pereira, but I got caught, I'll be back, like framing, right? He's like, no, I didn't get outclassed, just get caught, right? So that's like the excuse that people like to use in fights when they get knocked out. And Justin Gaethje was just like, yep, congrats to Max. Max is a BMF, a legend. I'm okay. Spirits are high. See you, whatever, down the road or something. So he didn't try to reframe anything. He was just like very relatable again, very like people's person, giving props to Max, which is nice. Which is also a reason why people like Justin Gaethje so much, right? He's a real one, keeping it real, being very relatable with the audience. Other than that, most of the losers, of course, like kind of like try to use the spiral of silence. And if you follow this podcast, you know I like this theory. Just like, don't talk about it. And if I don't talk about it, others don't talk about it. And let's wait until I have something positive to say, and then we're gonna talk about it. But it's of course a valid theory. I mean, just imagine like you get knocked out or you lose at the biggest card of ever. And people want to hear from you. Like, of course, you're like, let's just wait until something fun comes around to talk about. So that's fair enough, I think. Again, Jamal Hill using a framing theory here, which is understandable. Won't get him more fans, I think, because he was so cocky before, and then that performance wasn't that great. But understandable, I think. Last thing I wanted to quickly discuss is that how the UFC as a organization use communication theories, use media theories to, well, pump up UFC 300. And I think one thing they did, obviously, is they elevated, thank you, Mike Bourne, they elevated the bonus from $50,000 for Fight of the Night and Performance of the Night bonuses to $300,000, which is, of course, a lot, which is huge. Not that much for the UFC as an organization, of course, but for an individual, it's a lot of money. And Mike Bourne asked it in the press conference, and Dana White said, sure, done, let's do it. Also, he said, sure, Mark Coleman going to be in the ring to put the BMF title around the waist of the winner. So, yeah, shout out Mike Bourne. I mean, this was discussed before, but shout out to Mike Bourne for actually asking it. Elevating the prize money and having Mark Coleman come in and put the belt around the winner is, of course, using gratification, right? The fans want to see it. It increased motivation to watch, and also for the fighters, also using gratification, because obviously it motivates the fighters to go even harder, even faster. Well, I should say almost all the fighters except Jalen Turner, but all the other fighters seem to be motivated to actually get the finish, to get that prize money. So that was a smart move by the UFC, of course. So good on them, good on Mike Bourne, good on everybody who got the money. Good on Max Holloway, who got like Fight of the Night together with Justin Gaethje and Performance of the Night, making it $600,000 for the Blast Express. Congratulations, it was fantastic. Also then, of course, afterwards, we got the announcement for UFC 302 and 303. During the bus, it was still UFC 300. It's also a strategic plan. Dana White did announce it before, even though they asked him in the press conference, he's like, no, nothing to announce. But now after, it's like, okay, we got everyone buzzing. Now I'm going to announce it right now. So I don't take away from UFC 300 before, but now I use the buzz I have from UFC 300 to add to UFC 302 and 303. So we've got the main events for 302 and the co-main event, which is insane, with Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa. I don't know who to root for there. Secret Shoes or the People's Man Deshaun, I'm not sure. I'm conflicted, but we will talk about this once it rolls around. And we got the announcement for UFC 303. I think it is, right? Is it? In June 29th. Conor McGregor, finally the fight announcement that half the audience was waiting for, but Michael Chandler was waiting for. So we got the Conor McGregor announcement. Probably still the biggest name in MMA for whatever. I mean, I understand the reason, but as a hardcore MMA fan, you're like, come on, get over it. But hey, he's back. He's going to fight probably again. We have the announcement, so at least we have a date. Welcome back, Mystic Mac. Call me Mystic Sasha, because I'm gonna say that Michael Chandler stops him in 2. But okay, let's see. Maybe Michael Chandler is overtrained after like training for 2 years for Conor McGregor. But from a UFC point of view, that obviously was smart. Agenda setting right there. Yeah, UFC 300 fading out slowly right now. We're still buzzing, but of course now it's in the past. So now we're going to talk about like 302 with Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev, Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa, and of course 303 with, what should I say, Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, because let's be honest, 301 is kind of lame. So smart on the UFC. Yeah, don't tell us what to think, but like, look at this. Don't look at 301, but look at 302 and 303. Look at all of this. Isn't it pretty? And we're like, it's pretty. It's so pretty. It's nice. So we all look at it. Yeah, it's a smart move by the UFC. But of course, they have communications departments that make sense that they're doing it in a smart way. Also, of course, the strategy that we can see here as well, and I just want to throw in those two because I mentioned them in the last podcast. So just to make sure that we repeat a few things once in a while, we have the economic exchange theory. Yes, we're talking money a little bit as well because the UFC is big money business. Yeah, the UFC creates this symbiotic relationship with fighters and fans, right? So what we said earlier, higher bonuses lead to better performances, which then drive pay-per-view sales, attract sponsorships. Hence, they benefit every single party involved. Also, the UFC cultivates its brand image through cultivation theory, right? You reinforce your position as the premier MMA mixed martial arts organization in the world, that celebrates like milestones like UFC 300 by giving back to fans and fighters. Right? Smart move there by the UFC when it comes to communication. You wouldn't think it when you just see Dana White and listening to him sometimes saying F off and things like this, but in the grand scheme of things, they do have a strategy. They do have like smart communication, people planning out things. And it's just Dana White sticking to the plan, but using his own words, of course, makes it even better because it's relatable. You hate him or you love him, but you're definitely going to listen to him. So it's just a smart way of, I think, communicating in this realm of MMA, UFC, where it's about fights and action and right? In other realms, it wouldn't fly as much, of course, but in this realm, it's perfect. Okay, that's this week's episode. I think it's been like almost 30 minutes now that we've 25 that we've been talking about UFC 300. I'm still excited, but I wanted to get this out because I think it is just very interesting to see like how fighters and the organization communicate. Maybe we keep doing this for the big events. If there's some response there from you guys, from the listeners. That said, let me know what you think. I'm losing my voice. I'm losing my voice. So let me know what you think. Who was your winner of the event? Who was your favorite, I don't know, communicator? Maybe it was even Manny Moicano. I didn't even mention Manny Moicano, who almost got finished in the first round. Jalen Turner tried to be cool, walk it off. Then Manny Moicano walk off. Manny Moicano comes back and wins in the second round. And there's, of course, another Manny Moicano interview with Rogan, talking about the First Amendment and like investment strategies and that he couldn't afford to lose. So he's another one that's just super relatable and just says what's on his mind, which the fans love, of course, and also in agenda setting, calling out who he wants to face next. It should be Dan Hooker by now, shouldn't it? So Manny Moicano is all money. So maybe that was your favorite. So let me know who was your favorite, Nick, in terms of maybe call-outs after the fight or how they celebrated and so on. Or generally, who do you like the most? Who do you follow like on socials? For example, Tom Aspinall just became a member of the TNT Sports Group, I believe, in the UK, and had like a first episode, which was fantastic, where he explained like different techniques. Really, really good. So maybe that's something to do. Like, so let me know your favorite fighter channel. Maybe you like Izzy, who just goes, for like 10 minutes. Let me know who's your favorite fighter channel. In the comments, leave a review. That would help the podcast immensely. And then we reach more people, maybe even some fighters, and can make this thing a little bit bigger. As always, you're very much appreciated. I hope you stay safe, take care. If you're in Thailand, enjoy the New Year celebration. If you're in Myanmar, enjoy your celebrations as well, of course. Until then, stay safe, take care. Saudi Cup, Saudi Bhimai. See you soon. Keep your guard up.